What's going on, 49er faithful? You are tuned in to Keeping the Faith. This is the Faithful Friday live stream edition of the program. I'm JD. And look, we are another Friday closer to the start of the 2025 NFL season. We're another Friday closer to the start of preseason, training camp. Football is so close that you can smell it, even though we are in the quote unquote dead period of the offseason, where in theory, and I'm stressing this, in theory, there's not a lot to talk about. Players are away from the facility for 40 days from the end of mandatory minicamp before they return back to all their headquarters across the NFL. And when they begin training camp in the middle to late July. But look, it's supposed to be the dead period. It's supposed to be slow. But you got to remember, the 49ers are a 24/7, 365 days a year content machine. And that was not more evident than the news that 49ers fans got this morning by way of TMZ that Deommoore Lenoir, 49ers number one corner, star cornerback, recently given a huge contract extension. Deommoore Lenoir was arrested in Los Angeles Thursday evening around 5:30 p.m. yesterday for resisting a peace officer. That is obviously the main topic today being discussed by everyone who talks about the 49ers for a living or a hobby, or even if you're just a fan. That's the water cooler topic today, is the recent arrest of 49ers cornerback Deommoore Lenoir. And we will get into that momentarily. We also have a little bit of news surrounding Brandon Aiyuk, yet another content machine, content factory in his own right. There's a little bit of news coming out from NFL Network regarding Brandon Aiyuk that I will get into here in just a little short while. And after I give you guys my takes, after I give you guys my thoughts on the news and what has transpired recently, I will open up the phone line to you guys to call in and give your thoughts as well, because that's why this show exists. It's not just about me, talking my head off. I want to talk to the faithful. I want to get the input from the fan base. How do you feel about Deommoore Lenoir and his recent arrest? How do you feel about the news regarding Brandon Aiyuk, courtesy of Mike Garafolo of NFL Network, which we will get into here shortly? So when I get to that point, I will drop the StreamYard link in the chat, and you guys will be more than welcome to join at that point and give your thoughts. And we can also get into anything else that you guys want to talk about here tonight on Keeping the Faith. But first, let me say what's up to all the 49ers fans in the building. If you're here and you're in the chat, drop your ones. Let me see who's here. Let me say what's up to all of my fellow faithful in the building before we get things rolling. I see Crow is in the building. Crow drops his one. I see Fazil. Oh, wrong one. Fazil is in the building, dropping his one. David Corona is here. What's up, David? Dropped his one. Sin is checking in. Thank you so much, Sin. Good to see you in the chat as always. Let's see if I missed anyone. Earlier, we had David Culper checking in. So shout out to all you guys for checking in early. We got another one. Crazy Juice checking in, dropping his one. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in here on this Friday evening. But first, before we get into the news surrounding Deommoore Lenoir, the news surrounding Brandon Aiyuk, I do want to make a quick announcement. I finally got around to making a Twitter or X profile for the show. So if you guys are on X/Twitter, I still call it Twitter. I'm always going to call it Twitter because it is Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at KTF49 JD. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat so you guys can follow me there. 1 second. Follow me on Twitter/X at KTF49JD. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter at the new profile, KTF49JD. I'll be posting my thoughts there throughout the football season, posting pictures when I'm out at different games and different 49ers related events and stuff. So it's going to be fun over there on the good old Twitter sphere. So check out the new profile for the channel on Twitter at KTF49JD. With all that in mind, let's go ahead and let's jump into this Deommoore Lenoir news. Because when it first came out this morning, I think 49er fans everywhere were rightfully so freaking out. Deommoore Lenoir, according to TMZ, was arrested Thursday evening for resisting a peace officer. We didn't have much more detail than that at the time. And so it left 49ers fans, kind of trying to connect the dots themselves and trying to figure out what's going on, all the while wondering, hey, what's going to happen to the 49ers number one cornerback? Did he really get himself in some hot water? Is he looking at, some jail time? Things were crazy when the news first dropped because no one really knew the exact full story. But that's why I wanted to wait until tonight when I went live, because I knew that more details would come out, and they have. And just to quickly kind of give my overarching theme to this entire situation, I do think it's a nothing burger. I think it's not a big deal. I think it's not going to turn into really much of anything. And I'm glad, because if the 49ers are without Deommoore Lenoir for any length of time this season, for whatever reason, they're going to be in trouble. And that's going to be a big portion of my take as we have this discussion tonight about Deommoore Lenoir. Is I think this whole situation is going to be a wake-up call for everyone involved. I think it's going to be a wake-up call for Deommoore Lenoir regarding the people that he surrounds himself with, the company he keeps, and how he needs to carry himself and conduct himself. I think it's going to be a wake-up call for the fan base saying, man, like, what are we going to do if we lose Deommoore Lenoir? Because it really made you think for a minute there, like, what's going to happen week one up in Seattle? Like, what if we don't have Deommoore Lenoir? And then if you're the 49ers, this is also a wake-up call. Maybe they revisit their thoughts on the cornerback position. Maybe they add a proven veteran in the cornerback market prior to the start of training camp, because maybe they're thinking now, okay, if we are without Deommoore Lenoir, we already had this scare today that's making us reevaluate things. If we are without Deommoore Lenoir, we're screwed. So what should we do? That's kind of where my mind went with this whole scenario. But like I said, I think this is a nothing burger, and we'll get into it. So with Deommoore Lenoir, he was hanging out in downtown Los Angeles with a buddy of his named Marcus Cunningham, I believe was his name. And the two gentlemen were each in their own vehicles, and they had double parked those vehicles, and they were blocking traffic or impeding traffic for whatever reason. And a police officer or peace officer in this instance, I'm not really sure what the difference is, but a peace officer rolls up on them, and they see a gun in the vehicle of Mr. Cunningham. Not Deommoore Lenoir. Let me stress that. The gun was in Mr. Cunningham's vehicle, and they detain Mr. Cunningham, who also is getting in trouble for firearm possession. I believe it's a felony charge, and he got arrested too, just like Deommoore Lenoir. But during that situation, Mr. Cunningham tossed his keys to his vehicle to Deommoore Lenoir, and Lenoir in turn tossed those keys to a third person involved as the police officer was asking Lenoir to give him those car keys. It sounds to me like Mr. Cunningham was trying to get Lenoir to take his vehicle so that it didn't get impounded, or so that the cops didn't find the gun. And Lenoir, being, it was half smart. He was trying not to be involved. He's like, here, let me throw the keys to somebody else. I don't want this. But when the police officer tells you, like, hey, give me the keys, you need to listen to the police officer. And he didn't, and in turn was arrested for resisting a peace officer. And he was booked around 9:30 p.m. Thursday evening in jail in downtown Los Angeles. And he was released about 4 hours later on his own recognizance. He did not have to post bail. And from what I've seen, I don't know if this is entirely true, but from what I've seen, he hasn't even been officially charged yet. He was just booked under the charge of resisting a peace officer. He didn't resist arrest. He just basically didn't listen to the cop, and the cop got mad and booked him for it. Do I think it's a big deal? I don't. I truly, truly don't. Especially if Deommoore Lenoir has never been in trouble before. It's a misdemeanor charge anyway, which, look, if he's never been in trouble before, that charge is going to be dropped. And he has a court date. I believe it's July 25th down there in Los Angeles. Yes, this is during the start of 49ers training camp. However, the charge itself does not mean that Deommoore Lenoir is must appear in court in Los Angeles on that day. I believe his attorney will be able to appear on his behalf at that time. And I don't think Lenoir is going to miss any practice time. But I don't think that's going to be an issue here. But if he does have to go down there, I really don't think it's a big deal. It's just one quick appearance and he'll be back. But again, it's a misdemeanor charge, and if he's never been in trouble before, and by all accounts he's been a solid person of society and has never gotten in any trouble, to my knowledge, I think those charges ultimately get dropped. I don't think it's a big deal. It's just a small mistake, and a lot of people are trying to jump down his road today. Some people are giving Deommoore Lenoir a little grace, and I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, Deommoore Lenoir is a 25-year-old dude. He's 25 years old. Think about when you were 25, the kind of mistakes that you made, the kind of things that you did that maybe never even, saw the light of day. Maybe nobody knows some of the stuff you did when you were 25, but you know the dumb stuff you did when you were 25. Deommoore Lenoir is a multimillionaire, an athlete, a guy at the top of the world right now. And he's in the NFL for one of the league's most prestigious teams. He's a top player at his position on one of the top teams in football. He's a guy with all the money at his disposal, and he just made a mistake. He made a mistake. Yes, was it smart? No. Is it a big deal? Also, no. I really don't think it's a big deal. And will he be suspended by the NFL for contract detrimental or anything like that? I doubt it. I can't see anything really coming of this. Now, of course, maybe we don't know all the facts, and I'm sure all the facts will come out over the coming days and weeks leading up to that court date on July 25th. But from everything that we've gathered up until this point, I really don't think it's a big deal. I don't think we have anything to really worry about as long as Deommoore Lenoir learns from this mistake. I think as long as he learns from this mistake, and I think that he will, I think he needs to kind of reevaluate the company that he keeps, or at the very least, his own judgment in certain situations. I think as long as he learns from it, I think we'll be all right. I think Deommoore Lenoir is not going to go to jail. I don't think anything's going to happen, really. I don't think the NFL is going to suspend him. And I think Deommoore Lenoir will be out there week 1 when the San Francisco 49ers travel up to Seattle to play those hated Seahawks. So, let me pull up the little bit of information I have from the San Francisco Chronicle. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Here we go. Present. Bear with me, guys. I'm still new to StreamYard. I'm still learning. Your boy's still learning. Just like Brandon Aiyuk. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. There we go. So this comes from the San Francisco Chronicle, and I'll read it to you guys. It says, On the 4500 block of South Wilton Place, LAPD officers encountered a group of suspects and observed a gun in a parked vehicle, a department spokesperson said. When the officers attempted to get the keys from the vehicle, a suspect allegedly threw them to a bystander, Lenoir, who police say withheld the keys from the officers before tossing them to a third suspect who also did not comply with the officer's request. According to LA County Jail records, Lenoir was released on his own recognizance at 1:18 p.m. Friday, meaning he did not need to post bail, and upon agreeing to appear in court as required. Lenoir's court date is scheduled for July 25th. So he didn't even have to post bail. Look, I would be shocked. I would be shocked if anything comes of this. As long as he hasn't been in trouble before, as long as he doesn't have any sort of record or pattern of behavior, I really don't think anything's going to come of this. But it does bring up some questions. At least for me, it brings up some questions. But let me see what the chat is saying before I expand on this topic. Sin says, if we lose Demo, we're screwed. Absolutely. I agree with you there. Crazy Juice says, we have seen other players do worse things. Absolutely, we have. We absolutely have. But Crazy Juice also says, it's not a big deal. I agree. I tend to agree. Especially being from LA, I know how some police officers are over here. And that's kind of what it sounded like to me, is you just got a pissed off cop who just wasn't having it and decided to make an example out of Deommoore Lenoir and say, hey, you're acting like an entitled, youngster. You're acting like a guy who thinks he can't be touched. Well, come with me. We're going downtown. But end of the day, I don't think it's a big deal. But I'm hoping that Deommoore Lenoir learns from this mistake. I'm sure the team has already spoken to him. The 49ers have put out a statement that they are aware of it and they're awaiting all the facts and yada, 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 typical 49ers PR type of things. But my big takeaway from this, aside from the fact that Deommoore Lenoir needs to be a little bit more careful and a little bit more aware of the people that he's hanging out with in his position, is that it was a scary situation there for a little bit while we didn't have all the facts. And if the 49ers were to lose Deommoore Lenoir for any length of time, like Sin said a moment ago, I highlighted it, like I said a minute ago, the Niners are screwed. If they lose Deommoore Lenoir, let's say for shits and giggles that Deommoore Lenoir is suspended for a game or two to start the year, that's going to be brutal. Absolutely brutal. Weak schedule or not, your cornerback position group is already relatively thin and very unproven beyond your top two guys in Deommoore Lenoir and Renardo Green. So if you lose Lenoir, I feel like the Niners would be scrambling at that point to kind of figure out what to do. And so to me, it might almost be, it might almost be kind of a blessing in disguise in a way, potentially, that it's going to make John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and the 49ers think to themselves, we felt really confident about having Lenoir and Renardo Green this year, and we were really heavily relying on those guys. We're still relying on those guys. But after hearing that Lenoir got arrested, nothing's guaranteed. Anything can happen at any time. And if we lose Deommoore Lenoir, we need to have a backup plan. We need to be prepared. And so that brings me to another point that I know has been discussed on other content creators' channels and other media alike, that what if the Niners go out and they get a cornerback on the free agent market or in the trade market? I know Jalen Ramsey has been a name that has been floated about. And for a while, for quite a while, I've been of the opinion, if they get Ramsey, I wouldn't hate it, but I wasn't thinking, you don't have to go get Ramsey. I think we're all right. Now that I had that little mini heart attack this morning, seeing the news that Lenoir got arrested, you need to make a move. I am firmly in the camp that the 49ers need to make a move for a player in the secondary. And I feel like if you go and get a guy like Jalen Ramsey, not only could he play cornerback for you, obviously, in a pinch, there's also talk that he can play safety or wants to play safety at his next stop and in the next, moments of his career. So, and we all know that the 49ers could definitely use some help at safety. So if you go and get a Jalen Ramsey, I feel like you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, because you can get Jalen Ramsey. He can come in and play safety. And let's say you have an injury to a Renardo Green, or you have a potential very minimal suspension to Deommoore Lenoir. Ramsey can, move down and play corner on the outside. I am firmly now all on board the Jalen Ramsey train. I was never fully off of it, but I'm fully entrenched now. Like, I'm on board. Make the move, because now we know that there, if you lose Lenoir, if there's the possibility of losing Deommoore Lenoir, the wheels could fall off this thing defensively. And so whether it's Ramsey or somebody else, I would love to see the Niners, between now and the start of training camp, between now and the start of the regular season, go out and acquire another proven corner. Because look, beyond Lenoir and Renardo Green, nothing's guaranteed. We like Upton Stout, but he is small. He is a rookie, and he's pretty much exclusively going to be a slot guy. Go out and get another proven corner who can get the job done, because I feel like there's too much on the line to not at least take a swing at that position. So let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. I see David Corona in the chat. He says, "What's up, JD? Appreciate you for tuning in, David. Thank you." Sin says, "Was the cop a Rams fan?" I bet you he was. I bet you he was. That's, you know what? You might have a point there. That could be it. That could absolutely be it. Fazil, I don't think it's a big deal, but I doubt there's no suspension. I think you mean to say you doubt there is a suspension. I'm with you. So how did you guys feel? And you know what? I will open the phones in a little bit, and I'll get your thoughts. So keep your takes. If you want to type them in the chat, that's fine. But how do you feel, Niner fans? Do you think this is a nothing burger with Deommoore Lenoir? Do you think that it's really nothing to worry about? Or do you think, okay, it's a little bit of a wake-up call? It's a wake-up call for Deommoore Lenoir. It's a wake-up call for the organization that they can't just, assume everything's going to be fine. You need to go out there and insulate yourselves by acquiring another corner in free agency, because if you lose Lenoir or Renardo Green, for that matter, you're going to be in trouble. And I think in the few minutes of panic that everyone had today, it kind of proves that, like, you need to go get another corner. I feel that way. But look, we're not even in camp yet. Maybe they really do like the corners that they have, the Trey Averys, the Trey Browns, the Upton Stouts. Maybe they like the guys that they have. But we got to wait and see how they look in camp, how they look in the preseason. But if you can go and get a Jalen Ramsey for like a 5th-round pick, I mean, I'll go pick him up from the airport. I would. I'd pick him up from the airport right now. What about you? I would. So let's go ahead and get into the other topic that I have this evening. And before we do that, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but if you guys are interested in monthly giveaways, if you're interested in an awesome 49ers faithful fan community, if you're interested in behind-the-scenes content and exclusive 49ers videos that are not here available on YouTube, check out the Patreon. I do have a Patreon, and we have some members over there, but we're trying to build the thing up. It's almost football season, and I want to have enough Patreon members to make a fantasy football league. So check out patreon.com/keepingthefaith. Sign up to be a member, and you'll be included in an awesome community chat with a ton of perks that are going to keep building as we get closer and into the season. You'll be involved in monthly raffles for giveaway prizes, and you'll be able to help support the channel. So if you enjoy the content, you enjoy what I do here, and you want to help make this thing grow, check out patreon.com/keepingthefaith, and sign up to be a member today. I'm really trying to grow that thing. I've been trying to hammer it home. But a shout out to all the members that we do have over there on Patreon. They'll tell you it's awesome. They'll tell you they have a good time. So check it out. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. I have some big plans for this season over there on the Patreon. Crow says, Grant Cohn and his cronies are going to blow it all out of proportion. Surprisingly, they didn't. Surprisingly, I expected Grant to come down a little more heavy-handed than he did, but he spoke on it today, and he doesn't really think it's a big deal. Not really, and I saw the same from a few other guys, and I think most of us are all kind of on the same page here that, it's a misdemeanor. It's probably going to get dropped. He didn't really do anything all that bad. Like, it's not a big deal. And really, I don't think you can blow it out of proportion because I don't think there's anything to blow out of proportion. He had a lapse in judgment. He's a 25-year-old kid, and I think he'll learn from it. I really do. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't. So let's get into the other topic that I have, and then we'll go ahead and open up the phone lines because I definitely want to hear from you guys. So bear with me. Let me get through this other topic, and then I will, turn it over to you guys because this, at the end of the day, I'm the one talking, but it's your show here on Keeping the Faith. And this is the Faithful Friday live show, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight over here on this channel, Keeping the Faith. So in addition to the Deommoore Lenoir news, we had a little bit of an update regarding the Brandon Aiyuk situation. And this comes courtesy of Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network. He was on and had something really interesting to say involving Brandon Aiyuk and the whole saga of Brandon Aiyuk versus the 49ers. How does Brandon Aiyuk feel? All his recent cryptic social media posts on Instagram and especially on his YouTube channel, of all places, which he's treating like a personal Facebook page when he's posting all this stuff, which is very strange. But Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network put out a very interesting statement that I want to kind of piece through and give my thoughts on. So let me pull it up on the screen here, and I'll share it with you guys. And I'm sure some of you have seen it by now, but I want to give my thoughts on it for sure. Okay. There we go. So this comes courtesy of Mike Garafolo, NFL Insider, NFL Network. And he says, and they were asking him about Brandon Aiyuk and what's going on between he and the 49ers. And here's what Garafolo had to say. I know folks are reading into Brandon Aiyuk's comments as he makes his way back from an ACL injury. My understanding is Brandon Aiyuk is in a really good space with the team. They've got to keep him healthy and keep him focused. If they do, that's another add back to the mix with all this talent on the team. So the big takeaway there is he says that Brandon Aiyuk is in a good place with the team, right? That's what most people would take out of this. My personal opinion on this whole thing, and bear with me here. You know what? Let me put it back up real quick. I'm gonna pull this out and show you what I'm talking about. He says, my understanding is Brandon Aiyuk is in a really good space with the team. They've got to keep him, or they've got to get him healthy and keep him focused. If they do, notice how he keeps saying they've got to keep him healthy and keep him focused. If they do. So Mike Garafolo is making this statement, and to me, this screams a statement coming with information from the 49ers side of things. He said that he's in a really good space with the team, and they got to keep him healthy and focused. It sounds like someone from the 49ers PR, maybe John Lynch, is telling Mike Garafolo, yeah, we're things are going great. We've got a good relationship with Aiyuk right now. We saw the damage control that John Lynch has been trying to do in his recent press run on the Pat McAfee show, I believe it was, and other places. To me, this screams 49ers spin. It screams that Mike Garafolo spoke with someone at the 49ers building and by him saying they've got to keep him healthy and focused, yada yada yada. What about Brandon Aiyuk needing to keep himself healthy and focused? That's what tells me that statement, that sort of narrative is coming from the 49ers. They are in a good spot with Brandon Aiyuk right now. If all you got to do is look at Brandon Aiyuk's Instagram and the things he's posting on YouTube, and it tells you where Brandon Aiyuk is, where his headspace is, where his mindset, and how he feels about their situation right now, about their relationship right now. I don't think things are in a quote unquote good place. I don't. And I don't care what Mike Garafolo on the NFL Network says, considering he's just parroting whatever the 49ers PR department's telling him to say. So that statement to me just screams team spin, team influence. That's a message from the 49ers saying, yo, things are great with us and Brandon Aiyuk. We just got to keep them healthy and keep them focused, right? That's a weird statement in itself. Like, what do you mean they have to keep him healthy and keep him focused? Obviously, he needs to stay healthy, but the keep him focused thing, like what? To me, that almost sounds like they're saying, okay, Brandon, we see what you've been posting online. It's becoming a little bit of a distraction, of an issue. We see it, we notice it. Can you just rein it back a little bit? Just chill out. Just stay focused on the task at hand. That word focus to me, especially being put out there in the media through Mike Garafolo, is to me, it's the 49ers way of talking to Brandon Aiyuk through the media, saying, hey, can you just keep it, stay focused, like stop putting stuff out there so much. That's how I read that. That's how I look at that whole situation right there with the 49ers, Brandon Aiyuk, and that statement from Mike Garafolo. I don't know about you guys, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on that because I thought it was interesting the way that Mike Garafolo worded that. And as I read through it, it just screamed, a 49ers angle sort of thing. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat, and then I will definitely throw out the StreamYard link. Fazil says Aiyuk is in the Bahamas right now. Yeah, I saw that on social media. He's in the Bahamas right now. He's getting his vacation on before he comes back to Santa Clara in July and the team gets things rolling. So good for him. Good for Brandon Aiyuk, I guess. I'd like to be in the Bahamas. That'd be nice. But, we'll see. We'll see. I want to see Brandon Aiyuk come back healthy. I want to see Brandon Aiyuk come back, ready to go and get back on the field as soon as he possibly can. And I would love to see them repair the relationship. I know I've done a lot of dogging Brandon Aiyuk on this channel the last several weeks. At the end of the day, I know the best thing for all parties involved would be for them to, let bygones be bygones, brush things under the rug, move on, act like adults, act like professionals, and for Brandon Aiyuk to return to form and help the 49ers win games. That's the best thing for all parties involved. But I just want to see that happen. I have my doubts that is going to happen. I think it just, to me, feels like Brandon Aiyuk holds a grudge, and once he holds a grudge, there's no real moving off of it, and he feels a certain type of way. The organization's trying to, put out the fire every chance that they get. They're trying to smooth things over. They paid him all that money. They're trying to do all they can to say, Brandon, we want you here. We like you. But it feels to me like Brandon Aiyuk is his heels are dug in. And I don't think he's going to change. I don't. But let's see what happens. Let's see him get healthy, get back on the field. Let's see him, kind of resurrect his career, because right now it's definitely at the lowest point that it's been. Let's see that he's healthy. Let's see that he's able to contribute this year, whether it's early in the season, late in the season, whatever. I just want him to be healthy and ready to go. I don't want him rushed back. And I want to see him, be able to come back and put up some good numbers, put out a good showing, whether that's for the 49ers, if he wants to stay here, or if he decides that he definitely doesn't want to be here. At least he's put together some good tape for other teams, and that'll allow the 49ers to generate an actual trade market for him. So I just thought it was odd that Garafolo used the words like then they need to keep him focused. Like that to me, that's almost like they know that they have their hands full with Brandon Aiyuk, and so they're talking to him through the media, like, "Hey, Brandon, can you get it together, man? Can you focus? Like, stop, put the phone down and just you know, keep grinding, man. Keep doing your thing. Get healthy, get back, and let's play football. And winning cures everything. Yada yada yada. All that team speak stuff. So I don't know how you guys feel, but let me go ahead and open up the faithful phone line. I'll drop the StreamYard link in the chat, and you guys can join, and I will let you on the stream, and we can talk about the Deommoore Lenoir situation, his arrest down in Los Angeles. We can talk about the latest with Brandon Aiyuk or anything else that you guys wanted to get into here tonight on Keeping the Faith. This is the Faithful Friday live stream where I talk to you guys and get your thoughts, and we just rap about the 49ers, man. We just do our thing here. So let me go ahead and put up that link momentarily, and you guys can join. And don't worry, you will not be on camera because I keep you guys backstage, but your voices will be heard. That is all. So the StreamYard link is available now in the chat. Let me go ahead and pin it. Unfortunately, StreamYard doesn't let you do it from StreamYard. You have to go onto YouTube, and I'm just going to do it from my phone here real fast and pin the link myself. Pin. Okay, there we go. The link is pinned. So now it is available for you guys to take the link, jump backstage, and I will bring you on up, and we can talk about really anything you guys want. But I would like to talk about the Lenoir stuff. I want to get your thoughts if you think that the Deommoore Lenoir arrest is a big deal or not. If you think that Brandon Aiyuk is in a good place with the 49ers or not. I'm curious to hear what all you guys have to say. We do have a caller backstage, and Sin is joining the program. Sin, you're on with JD. How are you doing this evening?
I'm fine. How you doing, JD?
I'm not bad. Thank you for tuning in. I think this is the first time I've spoken to you.
It is. It is.
So what are your thoughts? What did you want to get into tonight? You want to talk Lenoir? You want to talk Aiyuk?
I want to talk about Aiyuk. So the 49ers made a mistake in signing him to that contract. They should have traded him when they had the chance. Now, I'm not saying that from a talent perspective, but it's just he's got some issues with the 49ers. I don't know where it stems from, but he does. And they should have traded him then. Instead, they panicked and paid him a contract. They regretted it. So some of this is on them because he knows, I'm sure he knows all this. So now they got a mess on their hands, I think. Now, from Brandon's perspective, and he even admitted that nobody's going to trade for him right now. So he's got to focus, get healthy, get on the field. He keeps talking about wanting to be traded. They should trade him as soon as possible.
I'm with you, but the unfortunate thing is that he got hurt, and if they were to trade him right now, they would get next to nothing for him. And you know how the 49ers are. They overvalue their own players. They could have got like a second round pick for Debo before last season, and they chose not to do it. They overvalue their own guys to a fault, to their own detriment. And I feel like with Brandon Aiyuk, their mindset's going to be, we can't trade him because we'll be lucky to get a 7th round pick for him. We need to let him play and reestablish a market for himself, show other teams that he's healthy and he's able to contribute, and then we can trade him for something that we feel is more fair. But I mean, you mentioned
that trading him now and getting only peanuts doesn't make any sense. I agree with you. Let him get on the field and accumulate some value. And I think that's better for him too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's better for everyone involved. I think they need to rip the Band-Aid off at some point. And I think that They were going to rip the Band-Aid off. They were moments away from trading him last summer before we all heard about Kyle Shanahan sprinting up to John Lynch's office and saying, no, no,
Right.
no, we can't do this. We have to sign him. They were getting ready to trade him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had enough of him. They didn't want to do it. But Kyle Shanahan did what Kyle Shanahan does and gets involved in the last minute and tries to play superhero and save the day. So really, if you think about it, this is kind of Kyle Shanahan's fault.
I agree with you. And, I had a sense that I have a feeling that they brought Ricky Pearsall in for a purpose. And Ricky had gotten hurt. He was injured. And at the time they were negotiating Aiyuk's contract, I believe he was injured. I have a feeling that if Ricky Pearsall had not been injured, they probably would have gone through with that trade. I always wondered if that was the case. But since he was injured, I think that's when Shanahan ran upstairs. No, 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 we need him. Well, you know what? They had buyer's remorse immediately after. So, I mean, I'm sure Brandon has heard that. That would be hurtful to me if I heard that. I mean, and this is a business. I get it. Players get traded all the time. So he also needs to have a thicker skin about this whole thing also in some respects. But I have a feeling that's probably how it went down, because I said they should have just gone ahead and traded him right then and there, because that's what they really wanted to do.
They should have trusted their gut. They didn't, and now they have egg on their face, and it's unfortunate for everyone involved. At this point, I feel like the best course of action is, I guess, if you can somehow just stick it out through this year, let Aiyuk put something on tape, let him get on the field and put something on tape, then they can move him next offseason. That feels like the most likely thing to me.
Right. I agree.
But I mean, like you said, you mentioned that they regretted that deal almost immediately. I mean, I think it was within like 2 weeks after that contract was signed, Mike Silver came out with some reports on Twitter saying that the Niners are pissed off about the deal. They weren't happy about it literally instantly, immediately.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from John Lynch. I think that comes from Parag Marate, possibly Jed York. I think they were all pissed off that Kyle Shanahan came in there kicking and screaming when they were, 2 seconds away from trading the guy. And now look at what happened. And so I think that's also why you saw the team take the approach that they did this offseason when it came to signing free agents and spending money. Jed York said, you know what? We're done doing all that, because look what happened. Look what happened last year, Kyle. You did this, Kyle. So now you need to deal with not being able to spend the money freely like you've been doing. And let's see how things go. Be a coach, not a GM.
I agree. That was the sense I got when all that stuff came down. It really was, because and I really like Shanahan. I think he's going to bring number 6 to us. But that when I think somebody put out an article about that whole scenario and saying and making a statement that it was an emotional impulse, that Aiyuk was signed on an emotional impulse. I said, you know what? That sounds like somebody was just talking about Shanahan in that way. And so Jed put his foot down and said, no, we're not doing that anymore. And I know that there were people that were saying, this means that Shanahan's on a short lease. No, I don't think so. I think it's just as to money. I think that ownership said, no, you're not going to be spending our money that freely anymore. We're going to put some guardrails on here. And
absolutely,
so people were panicking, saying, oh, the 49ers are broke. They aren't broke. They're getting smart. So I agree with all that.
Yeah, they're wising up. Real quick, Sin, let me get your thoughts on this Lenoir arrest. I do have some other callers backstage, but I do want to get your thoughts quickly on the Deommoore Lenoir arrest. Do you think it's a big deal? What is your kind of takeaway from that whole situation?
I don't think it's a big deal. And because of, number one, he just got booked. He hasn't been charged. So the prosecutor has to determine whether or not they're going to charge him. So they haven't even gotten that far. That's number one. Number two, it's not resisting arrest. It's not anything serious. It's resisting a peace officer or something. It's very, it's a misdemeanor. I think he's going to wind up with a fine. I don't even think he's going to get suspended because I don't think it rises to the level of something that puts the NFL in a bad light. I don't think it even rises to that. So I think it's a nothing burger.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, Sin, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. Call in next time we're live, okay?
Okay, my pleasure. You have it's a good show. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, we have another caller. Shout out to Sin for calling in and giving her thoughts. Good, strong phone call. Now we go to Tommy. Tommy Huxley is on the program. Tommy, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. So what's on your mind? What do you want to get into first?
I don't know. There's not much to talk about other than that arrest, which seems like nothing. I mean, unless they want to throw the book at him, but for what? Resisting.
There's
it's so vague. Like
there's nothing to throw the book at, you know?
It's so vague though. Resisting how? Was it like a physical act, or did you just say no?
It wasn't resisting arrest. It was resisting a peace officer, which basically, to me, it equates to you didn't listen to what the cop told you to do, and the cop got mad.
So that means you have to follow their orders every time they tell you to lick their boots, man. Nah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm glad that's all that it was. And I'm praying that he doesn't get suspended for conduct.
That's what I want to talk about. Like, if he's suspended, we're screwed because we have like terrible corner depth.
Absolutely.
I mean, I still think we should go grab Ramsey. But
yeah, I don't know if you just tuned in, but we were talking about that earlier. That was my overarching takeaway from this whole thing is that, you know, whether he gets suspended or not, just the news today that we got, that brief 5 minutes that we were freaked out wondering, oh my God, is Lenoir going to jail? Oh my God, is he getting suspended? Like, what's actually going on? It made me think that, you know what, they can't just go into camp. They can't just go into the season with their cornerback depth the way it is, because not just if you lose Lenoir, if you lose Renardo Green, you're screwed too.
Jesus.
So they need to go get a corner big time.
But the thing is, everybody think they want to move him to safety, and that wouldn't be bad either, because I'm not really crazy about the safety room right now. I never was big on Jair Brown, sorry.
Right. And the thing with Ramsey, you know, if he comes in, you can obviously play him at safety, and that fills, you know, another hole on the roster. And if you were to somehow lose Lenoir for a game or two from a suspension or an injury at any point in the season, Ramsey can always, you know, move down to corner too. So I think Ramsey would kill two birds with one stone. It wouldn't cost you that much in terms of compensation. I think it's a home run move at this point.
I would like to just have him starting outside and have Demo in the slot, because I just don't understand how Saleh was going to put one of the best slot corners outside. Even though he's super versatile, he's better at the slot. And he's like the only person who in like years that can stop the slot fade, which was killing us for years. Shark used to get bitten by that all the time.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, I like Upton Stout, and the team likes Upton Stout, but he is a rookie. I don't know if I want to rely on a rookie nickel corner on a team that has some playoff aspirations.
Yeah, I was on a podcast that somebody said, you know, we'll have the linebackers there to eat the slot. I'm like, well, all right, but you should have a slot guy. It's like the corner, you know.
Exactly, and
that's why
if you're going to rely on the linebackers, like, yeah, you have Fred Warner, but then after that, everything else is uncertain there too. So
and because I think a lot of people are saying that Ward being gone might hurt us, but he had a terrible year. But I think that was all in his head because of his tragedy that happened.
Yeah, that could be it. But Tommy, what about the? I don't know if you were tuned in, but did you hear my thoughts on the latest with Brandon Aiyuk?
Yeah, I heard it.
So
Yeah,
what are your thoughts there from that
I'm just
comment
so
from Garafolo?
I'm so done with this guy. He's such a diva, man. He just doesn't stop talking. It's like, just play football. You had one good year. Repeat it, and then you can talk. I mean, he
Yeah,
had another good year, but his year in 2023 was amazing.
yeah,
Kind of like
absolutely.
Debo's 2021, and then they never were able to repeat it.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're on the same page, man. He's acting like To, but he's not To. And
Yeah, I
even
was gonna say that earlier.
I said this before in a stream a few weeks back. He's acting like To. He's not To, and
Nope.
even To got traded.
Yeah, and
So
T.O.'s a Hall of Famer, so
yeah, I'm with you. I'm tired
I
of the
just
Brandon Aiyuk thing. I really am. I wish they would have moved off of him a year ago, and now they're paying for it.
yeah. Now they're stuck with him. So, and who knows if he's going to even come back to his same form because of those injuries were terrible. I mean, that's the absolute worst thing that could have happened on that play. I actually think it was a dirty play, but the Chiefs are fucking dirty. Excuse my language, but
Yeah,
I hate.
it wasn't just the ACL. There was other ligament damage as well. I believe the
Yep,
meniscus too. Like
yep.
there's a very good possibility that he never comes close to what he was.
Yeah, that's more of the case. I'd say that's like 70% of what's going to happen. What do you think about swapping for Scary Terry? I don't think the Commanders would do it, honestly, but I would do it.
I don't think they'll do it because they're another team who is a contender, and Brandon
Yep,
Aiyuk is not healthy for one.
true.
Two, Terry McLaurin is looking for a new contract, and if they're hesitant to pay Terry McLaurin out in Washington, what makes you think they want to take on Brandon Ayuk's salary on a guy with a bum knee?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. It's just praying for somebody to be stupid, but not when it's run by he used to be. I can't even remember his name. The GM over there used to be with the Niners.
Oh, Adam Peters.
Yes, he's not dumb at all.
No, and he knows Brandon Aiyuk better than anybody. So
He does, really.
Yeah. Well, hey Tommy, man, I appreciate the call. Don't be a stranger, man. Call back next time we're live. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Shout out Tommy Huxley for calling in for the first time. Awesome. I always see him in the chats. It was good to talk to him. Now is your chance though. The phone lines are open. Click the StreamYard link. It is pinned in the chat. You can come on and give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this Deommoore Lenoir arrest? I mean, I think it's safe to say that, it's a nothing burger. But do you have any overarching thoughts or themes that come out of it? Are you a fan of Deommoore Lenoir's judgment in this case? Do you want to see him make better choices, make better decisions in terms of who he hangs out with, what he's doing, when it comes to situations like that? Brandon Aiyuk with the Mike Garafolo comments. Are you believing Mike Garafolo when he says that Brandon Aiyuk and the Niners are in a good place? Because I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second, not one. And I think that all you have to do is follow Brandon Aiyuk on Twitter for any length of time, and he'll tell you that they're not in a good place. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Sorry, I don't think I am. So now is your chance, though, guys. This is Keeping the Faith. I am JD. This is the Faithful Friday call-in show, and I appreciate everyone who is tuned in this evening. And this show is designed specifically to talk to you guys, the faithful. I put my thoughts out there all the time, but I want to hear from you. So click the StreamYard link down below in the chat, and let's talk about it. We can get into anything else Niner related if you want. We don't have to strictly stay to these topics. If you guys want to ask me anything Niner related, if you have any sort of thoughts on your mind, click the link, join the program, and don't worry, you will not be brought up onto the stream. The viewers will only hear your voice, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Let's see who we have in the chat. Brunel says, no shot the Commanders trade Terry for Brandon Aiyuk. I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think it's realistic. I think it's just a pie in the sky, short on content idea from desperate content creators who want to make up topics to fill airtime. That's really what it is, especially at this point in the offseason as we're waiting for training camp to get here. Look, and I get it. I'm not going to bash anyone who talks about, Terry McLaurin for Brandon Aiyuk. Sure, it sounds good. Sure, would it help the 49ers? Absolutely, it would help the 49ers. But I don't think it's going to happen. Why would the Commanders want to do that? I don't see it. I don't see it. Riddy says T.O. put in major work before the crazy stuff. He started talking years of production previously. Yeah, that's the thing. T.O. put in the work, man. T.O. was a certified baller before he started acting like a diva. Brandon Aiyuk started acting like a diva the minute money came into the equation. The money changed him. And that's not just an outsider's perspective. You hear that from the media that are around him. They think, this wasn't the Brandon Aiyuk that I'm familiar with. As soon as money came into play, Brandon Aiyuk kind of changed. And, he's had one or two good seasons in the NFL, and he's acting like he's made it. He's acting like he is an elite wide receiver. He's acting like he's on the level of a Terrell Owens. And even like I said, even T.O. got traded. So if I'm Brandon Aiyuk, man, I need to chill out because even T.O. got traded. You got to keep that in the back of your mind. So let's see what else we got going on in the good old chat. 805 Blackbeard says Demo was trying to be a good friend and took the heat for it. Yeah, and he shouldn't have. He has way more to lose than his buddy, Mr. Cunningham. Deommoore Lenoir is the guy with millions of dollars in the bank. He's the guy with millions more coming to him with an NFL career. He's the one who has, a family to look after. And he was being a good friend, but he was being, I don't know. I don't, he shouldn't have took the heat for it. He needs to be smarter than that. Yes, like I said, and I said this earlier, he's 25 years old. People make mistakes. It's not a big deal. I don't think he's going to jail. I don't think he's getting suspended. When I was 25, I did dumb shit too, right? But he's got way more to lose than his buddy, and he needs to remember that. And you know what? As long as this serves as a wake-up call for Brandon, and this doesn't happen again, or something similar doesn't happen again, okay, good. Everyone's got to learn from their mistakes. Everyone goes through stuff. And I think Deommoore Lenoir is going to learn from this. And I think that you're going to see a more mature Deommoore Lenoir moving forward. I do. I feel that way just from hearing him talk, from hearing the media and how they talk about the Deommoore Lenoir that they know from being around him. I think this is going to be a good wake-up call. Everyone goes through stuff. Everyone makes mistakes. So, fortunately, this just wasn't a super costly one. I really don't think it is. But if I'm Deommoore Lenoir, I truly do some self-reflection, and I make the choices that are best for me, not best for my friends. Because moving forward, he needs to worry about himself. He doesn't need to worry about his friends that have way less to lose than he does. That's just how I feel about it. Let's see. We got more comments here in the chat, guys. Bear with me. I want to talk to everybody. So, and again, the StreamYard link is down below, and I would love to hear from everybody. You won't be up on the camera. So if you just if you're just chilling at home, and you want to come on the stream and talk, you will not be brought up on stream. All the viewers will see or hear in this case is your voice. They won't see you. So if you want to call in, perfect opportunity. Anybody can call in from anywhere. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Let's see. 49er minded. My buddy Bashar, he says they brought T.O. Gore and Willis in to try and set Aiyuk straight one day in camp. Yeah, they did. They brought in those veteran guys, those guys that have been there, done it, to try and give him some solid veteran advice from guys who have been in the league and been in Brandon Aiyuk's shoes to some extent. And hopefully that helps. Hopefully he took away some words of wisdom. You know, you heard that Aiyuk was standing there talking to T.O. for like 20, 30 minutes and not saying a word, soaking it all in, listening to every word T.O. said. So, you know, did he really take anything away from it and learn anything? I hope he did. I hope so. But I just want him to put the damn phone down. Just put the phone down, Brandon. Like, just put the phone down, bro. It's that simple. I know it's easy, but put the damn phone down. Filthy Casual says he changed after the Super Bowl loss, talking about don't forget what got you there, and his girlfriend talking about saying bye to the Bay and playing for Vegas. Yeah, that was kind of the first moment where we saw Aiyuk really start vocalizing things and really start feeling some type of way, at least publicly. We don't know what happened behind the scenes, you know, in the facility, a practice, yada, yada, yada. But at least publicly, yeah, you're absolutely right. That was the first inclination that we had that Brandon Aiyuk was feeling some type of way about the organization. And yeah, ever since then, it's just kind of been a downward spiral ever since. Regarding Demo, 805 Blackbeard says, I respect Demo for it. I mean, I get what you're saying, but you have to get away from that mentality and that you got to get away from like the street code of ethics. You need to get away from hanging on the block with your boys, that mindset, that code of ethics. Deommoore Lenoir is a 25-year-old dude with a whole life ahead of him, with every opportunity in front of him, and millions of dollars in earnings that he can make moving forward. He has so much more to lose than some random dude from the block. I'm sorry. I get the bro code and holding it down for your boys, and I understand all that. I grew up in the hood. I get it, right? But he's got Demo's just got too much to lose, man. Demo's just got too much to lose. Really. Oh, we got a caller. Oh, here he is. Okay, let's talk to him. 805 Blackbeard. 805, you are on the show, man. How you doing, man? What's on your mind?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. So I know you said you respect what Demo did for his buddy there. Talk about that. Let me hear your thoughts.
I think that it was unfortunate that Demo got arrested, you know? I think he was just trying to do his friend a solid and not make the situation worse for the both of them. But unfortunately, somebody had to take the blame, you know?
But I mean, like you said, he was trying to do a solid for his friend, and look how that paid off.
Right.
That's the lesson right there. Like when you're trying to do that sort of thing and you're trying to stick up for your friend and be there for your boy who has a lot more, or I'm sorry, a lot less to lose than you do. That's the kind of shit that happens.
Yeah, I think I don't know too much about his friend, or if they're like childhood friends or if they're just acquaintances, but I think Deommoore can learn a lesson from this going forward, and I think he'll make the right choice.
I think you're right, and I think the 49ers have the veteran leadership. They have the locker room, the culture to, make sure Lenoir stays on the straight and narrow. And I don't think it's going to be an issue moving forward. I don't think it's an issue at all. I really don't think he's going to get suspended, but I just hope it's a little bit of a wake up call for him. Everybody's got to learn stuff, and the only way you learn is by going through stuff.
I think that it's interesting that Aiyuk is complaining about Twitter, and then you have Deommoore getting in trouble. It's kind of like you can see the compare or not the comparison, but the contrast, I guess, to both situations. I think the mentality that Demo has, it's a lot more. I don't know how to say it, but it's just different from Brandon Aiyuk. You know,
What you think? You think Demo is more mature than Ayuk? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I would say so. Yeah, and they're about the same age, so maybe Aiyuk could learn from Demo.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I want Brandon Ayuk trying to, interfere with a cop, shaking down a guy with a gun in his car. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. Do you have any other thoughts before I let you go, my friend?
No, I don't. Well, actually, I think this is the year the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm really excited for this season. And I hope we do well.
I like it, man. I like it. Well, hey, 805 Blackbeard, have a great weekend. Thanks for calling in, man. Call back next time, okay?
All right. Sounds good. Bye.
All righty. Shout out 805 Blackbeard. And I saw an interesting comment that I'm going to highlight, and I want this person to call in because I'm really curious to hear his thoughts. Fly Esai in the chat. Also, a Patreon member, Fly Esai, says, Lenoir screwed up, man, and he typed it in all caps, so he really means it, and he's not happy. That's what I take from Fly Esai's comment right there. Fly Esai, I need you to call in, man, because me and a lot of other people seem to think it's not that big of a deal, and judging by your comment right there, I think you may think it's a little bit bigger of a deal than I do. So, how are you feeling? I need to know. Call in if you get the chance because I'm curious. I think you have some thoughts. I think you have some thoughts, and I want to hear them. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat. Salvador in the chat. What's up, Salvador? He says, this is definitely Kyle Shanahan's last chance to take the 49ers to the Super Bowl. If not, he might get fired. Remains to be seen. It depends on how the season pans out. It depends on a lot of things. They just signed Brock Purdy to a brand new huge contract extension. I don't think that you sign Brock Purdy to a huge contract and then after 1 year you fire his coach. I don't think that's a way to set up Brock Purdy for success, is by giving him a brand new offensive coordinator and offensive scheme to learn. So I think that Kyle Shanahan's going to get beyond this year to get the job done. That's how this is setting up to me. I think that if they have another down year this year, then we can have that conversation officially about Kyle Shanahan being on the hot seat. But I think that doing anything with Kyle Shanahan after this year, no matter what happens, is a little premature, just because you just signed Brock Purdy to that huge deal. And if you want to throw him off and mess up the trajectory, the trajectory or the schedule of his career, fire Kyle Shanahan after this year, after you just signed him to a big deal. I don't think the Niners want to do that. I really don't. I think they're going to do everything that they can to avoid that situation. And really, I don't think we're going to even be in a position to have that conversation after this year, because I think the 49ers are going to have a very solid season. I think they are still a very talented team. I think they have an influx of young talent that you're going to see develop before your eyes. And I think this schedule is soft enough that the 49ers will be a playoff team this year. There will be enough goodwill and enough good momentum around this team that I don't think you're going to hear all this talk about Kyle Shanahan needing to be fired after the season. I really don't. I don't. Let's see if I missed any other comments before we get any callers. Filthy Casual says, heard BA has been helping out the coaching staff during OTAs. Yes, we have heard that, and we heard that from the coaching staff themselves, I believe. And you heard it during minicamp or OTAs. Basically, kind of, a team message. It was from the team talking about that. And this was also during the time that you were hearing a lot of stuff about Brandon Aiyuk negatively from his social media stuff. So how much of that is true and how much of that is the 49ers trying to, kind of put a spin on it and make Brandon Aiyuk not look like the bad guy and help kind of rehab his image a little bit? I'm sure he's helping out. I'm sure he likes his teammates. I'm sure he helps out in the meetings and stuff. But I thought it was convenient that the 49ers float that out there while Brandon Aiyuk is, getting heat for his antics on social media. Kind of convenient to me. Let's see. Let's see what we got in the chat. And again, guys, the StreamYard link is pinned in the chat. So call in, give your thoughts. This is the Faithful Friday call-in show. So you know what that means. I want to hear from the faithful. I put out my thoughts tonight on the latest involving Brandon Aiyuk, the latest with Deommoore Lenoir being arrested in Los Angeles. If you missed out, go ahead and rewind the stream. I put my thoughts out there. Now I want to hear from you guys. So let's see what we got. Fly Esai in the chat says Lynch and Shanahan have had zero tolerance with legal issues in the past. Example, Reuben Foster. We will see what happens. Here's the thing, Esai. There's no legal issue yet. Deommoore Lenoir hasn't even been officially charged. He didn't even have to post bail to get out of jail. It's a misdemeanor. And again, maybe the district attorney down there doesn't even press charges. Yes, he has a court date, but no official charges have even been set. And it's not like, I wouldn't even call it a legal issue, man. Like, it's really not a big deal. It's a misdemeanor. And if he's never been in trouble before, nothing's going to happen. The charges will be dropped. I really don't think it's a big deal. It's not like he fought the police officer. It's not like he really did anything that bad. He just held some car keys and threw them to somebody else when the police were trying to get him. It wasn't Deommoore Lenoir with the gun. Was it a good look? No, it was not a good look. I don't like it. But was it a big deal? I don't think so. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I remember when I was 25, and that was a long time ago. I'll be 38 in about a month and a half. You guys can tell by the gray in my beard, I'm not 25, but I remember when I was 25, the kind of mistakes that I made, the dumb things that I did, the stupid stuff that I got away with. So if I can't be a hypocrite and sit here and just bash Deommoore Lenoir for something that's really not a big deal. He didn't really make that big of a mistake. I think his biggest mistake in this entire situation is just his lack of good judgment more than anything. And lack of good judgment isn't something that, is going to get him thrown in jail. I don't think. It wasn't a big deal, is what I'm trying to say. As long as he learns from it, as long as we're not revisiting this topic again, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Fly Esai also commenting on Brandon Aiyuk, saying, I think Aiyuk is battling more mental issues than anything. That's, I'm not going to speak on Brandon Ayuk's mental capacity or mental ability. But I just think he's a guy that likes to hold grudges, man. I just think I think we didn't know a lot about Brandon Aiyuk because we never really heard him talk. We never really heard him say anything up until the fact or the point in time where money became involved. And, we've the rest is history. We know how he acted during the negotiations and things that he's done since. But before that, we didn't really know Brandon Aiyuk. And I think we thought we knew Brandon Aiyuk, but I think we're quickly finding out that we didn't know Brandon Aiyuk at all. Really? That's how I feel about that. Let's see. My guy Bashar says, I'm busy with my niece and nephew, otherwise I'd chime in. No worries, Bashar. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. Fazil in the chat. Let's see what he says. Man, this is the first off season in a while where we've had no drama, and now people are overreacting over this, and now we will always be in the news for something. They are. They always are, man. They always are. Whether there's actually stuff going on or not, there's always something to talk about with the 49ers. And It's never a dull moment. Just when you think everything's going to be chill, it's not. The 49ers are the content gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what year it is, man. They're just it's always something to talk about with the San Francisco 49ers. That's absolutely for sure. 805 Blackbeard. Demo isn't a diva, but he brings passion to the team. I think Aiyuk could learn how to be more of a pro if he was surrounded by positive teammates. I mean, the 49ers have, by all accounts, like one of the best cultures in the NFL. Like their locker room is really good and full of veteran, positive role model type teammates. Like I don't agree with you there. Not at all. I mean, they've got a ton of examples of professionals who go about things the right way and have been there, done that, and they've been through the ups and downs of the NFL. I don't agree with that at all. I think that he's definitely surrounded by the right kind of guys, at least with the 49ers. I can't say about in his personal life, but when he's at the 49ers facility, he's definitely around a lot of the right kind of guys. I couldn't disagree with you more on that front. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up if no one wants to call in. We've been live for an hour and 19 minutes. I would love to hear from a few more of you before we go ahead and wrap it up. But if no one wants to call in, I can always go do something. It is summertime and I'm in the back of my house right now and it's really hot in this room. So I can go sit by the air conditioner because it's freaking hot here in Northern California right now. I don't know about where you guys are, but where I am here in Northern California, it is extremely hot today. And this room is in the back of my house. It doesn't get a ton of circulation and it is roasting in here. But I would definitely like to talk to you guys. So if you want to call in, again, the StreamYard link is down below in the chat. And once again, if you want to have access to behind-the-scenes stuff, extra 49ers content, if you want to be a part of monthly giveaways, and there is going to be another monthly giveaway raffle this weekend exclusively over on our Patreon, patreon.com/keepingthefaith. Check that out. And sign up to be a member, and you'll be involved in all the fun stuff we're doing over there. I would appreciate it. I'm trying to grow that thing. It's been slow going, but that's fine. We're getting into football season. I'm not worried about it. Also, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I did make a Twitter account or X account for the program. You can follow me on Twitter at KTF49JD. Let me type it in the chat. And I will put it up on the screen just in case so you guys can see it. At KTF49JD is the Twitter account. So follow me over there. I will be posting my thoughts on things. I'll be posting photos and videos when I'm out at games and different events and stuff with 49ers related stuff. Keep in mind, I will be going up to Seattle week 1 this year, and you can best believe I will be posting all kinds of stuff from my trip over there on Twitter. And if you guys have watched me for any length of time, you know I am the original Hawk hater. That's what I was known for on YouTube for a very long time. And you guys won't be disappointed, man. So follow me on Twitter or X at KTF49JD. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/keepingthefaith. And I appreciate everyone for rocking with me here on this Friday, man. It is the slow time, but we are days away from the month of July. And once we get into the month of July, it is officially training camp month. And the first preseason game this year, the Hall of Fame game, is at the end of July. I can't believe it. It's the earliest, I believe, the NFL preseason has started since the year 2000, if I remember correctly. And I can't wait, man. Football is so close. I can smell it. Training camp is right around the corner. I will be getting out to training camp at least once or twice this season. We still don't know the dates or the times for the practices just yet. what I'm trying to do is a giveaway of a pair of training camp tickets. I am a season ticket holder, so I will get first crack at all the training camp tickets. But even for me, it's a pain in the ass to get training camp tickets because the Niners are very messy when it comes to how they do the training camp stuff. But I'm going to try and get a pair to do a giveaway for potentially, and I'm going to definitely try and get out there to at least a practice or two. So I can't wait for camp. And if you guys are going to be out there, I'll definitely let you guys know when I'm going. And if you're going to be out there on the days that I'm there, let me know. I'm down to say what's up, man. I'm definitely down to say hello to anybody out there that watches the channel. That's for sure. Lavelle is chiming in. He just tuned in. He says, "What's up? Let's go Niners." Lavelle, man, you missed a show. You missed a good show tonight. We've been live for about an hour and 23 minutes. You'll have to go back and watch the program. But we're going to be wrapping it up here because we don't have any calls backstage. So let's go ahead and call it. Let's go ahead and call it. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I do have more content coming. I am working on some stuff behind the scenes that I know you guys will enjoy. So keep it locked right here on Keeping the Faith. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know every single time I go live, every single time I drop content. And I will be working on a live streaming schedule. I gotta nail that down. It's tough when you're doing your thing and working and whatnot. But I'm gonna try and nail down a live streaming schedule, and I will let you guys know that as soon as I come up with something concrete. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Everyone stay safe. Everyone enjoy your weekend. I know we got 4th of July coming up next week. Everyone stay safe when it comes to the fireworks and stuff. I'm just ready for football, man. We're so close. I can smell it. So thanks again. I hope everyone has a safe and happy weekend, and I will catch you guys very soon.